Hi, so this is an example of how to use Abbey to manage access to your AWS accounts. So this example will walk you through adding a user into a Identity Center Managed group. That Identity Center Managed group will grant permissions for the user to access an account. So if you look in this example here, we have two different accounts. We have a production account and a staging account. So let's go into the production account here. You can see there are two groups that have been granted access to the production account. There's an R&D group, which has read-only access, and then there's a prod access group that has compute full access. We want to model an example where a user will request through Abbey to get access to the prod access group, which will grant them compute full access into this production account. So if we go into the prod access group, we'll see there are no users inside the prod access account. So why don't we try and use Abbey to request access? So to look at what this grant kit looks like, we can see here we don't need to look at the staging access or the read-only access, but you can see this is what the group for prod full access would look like being associated with the production AWS account. Now what Abbey does is, once we go through Abbey to request access, Abbey will create a Terraform block inside of your existing Terraform in order to create the group association. So we can see three blocks here for the Abbey Grant Kit resource. We can see a workflow, which has steps. We can see a set of policies, and we can see an output. The workflow dictates reviewers and other things necessary to make sure an Abbey request is actually approved. In this case, we're saying one of the following reviewers, namely this account, must approve the access in order for the access request to go through. We apply some policies on here. So if we actually look at the policies here, we want to grant this access for only 5 minutes. Now, obviously, this is a demo, and in a real-life scenario, you'd want much longer access, probably an hour, maybe a day. But for this example, we'll do 5 minutes. And once the policies have passed and the workflow steps have passed, we'll get output. You can see this output is creating group membership. It'll associate the prod access group as discussed earlier with a member ID of the user that's requesting access. So why don't we go through the flow in the Abbey app? We'll go here to the Abbey app. We'll request access, and we'll ask to grant prod access. Now, we'll wait for the access request approval to come through. We can see here that an approval has come through, and that actually generates a pull request. So if we want to see what the pull request looks like, we can see here there's some information that's associated with the grant kit resource in Terraform, and it actually creates that output block here. Now, in order for the Abbey bot to merge this in, we need to approve this in the Abbey app. So why don't we go ahead and do so? I'm approving Abbey access now. Now the access has gone through, and the PR will get merged. As we see here, a user has been added to the prod access group, which will give them full compute access into prod. Now, after 5 minutes elapse, a revocation PR will come out with no effort on your part, and will revoke this access. Here you can see the revocation PR, and now the access has been removed.